So I was bored, and I wanted to make an Undertale AU, but I couldn't come up with anything. So I came to ChatGPT 3's house with a gun and kindly told him to make one for me. And this is what it gave me.
Here's an idea for an Undertale AU title. Underrealm. In this AU, the monsters are not trapped underground, but in a parallel dimension known as the Underrealm. The Underrealm is a dark and dangerous place filled with powerful and evil creatures. However, a small group of monsters have managed to escape and now reside in the human world, trying to coexist with humans and keep their existence a secret. The protagonist is a human who stumbled upon a portal to the Underrealm and gets trapped there. In order to escape, they must navigate through the dangerous world and earn the trust of the monsters living there. Along the way, they will encounter several monsters who have unique abilities and personalities, and the protagonist must choose whether to befriend them or battle against them. In this law, the traditional fight or spare system remains, but with a twist. If the protagonist chooses to spare a monster, they will gain their trust and potentially their friendship. However, if they choose to fight, they will not only earn X and items, but also the wrath of the Underrealm and its powerful ruler, who will stop at nothing to prevent the protagonist from escaping. This law also introduces a new aspect of character development, where the protagonist's choices not only determine the outcome of their journey, but also their own personal growth as they learn about the struggles and hardships faced by the monsters in the Underrealm. Overall, Underrealm presents a unique and fresh take on the Undertale universe, exploring themes of trust, friendship, and personal growth in a dark and dangerous world.
Oh, hey, that sounds like it could be an interesting concept. Let's see what else this AI could come up with.
Here's an idea for an Undertale AU title. Underrealm, setting a parallel universe to the underground of the original Undertale game, where the monsters are forced to live in a world filled with magic, danger, and political intrigue. Plot: the story follows a young monster named Frisk, who embarks on a journey to find their lost family and uncover the truth behind the mysterious disappearance of their kind. Along the way, Frisk discovers a dark conspiracy involving the ruling government and powerful magic users who seek to manipulate and control the monsters for their own purposes. Frisk must use their wits and determination to survive in this dangerous world, making alliance with other monsters and learning to harness the power of magic. They must eventually confront the forces behind the conspiracy and fight to restore peace to the Underrealm. Gameplay: the gameplay would involve exploration, puzzle solving, and turn-based combat, but with a focus on using magic spells in battle. Players would have to make choices that affect the outcome of the story, much like in the original Undertale. However, the stakes are higher in this world, as the choices Frisk makes will determine the fate of the Underrealm and its inhabitants. This Undertale law would offer a fresh twist on the original, while still maintaining the quirky humor and touching moments that made the original game so beloved.
Ooh, I like that. Master Frisk could be very fun to draw. Anyway, let's see what else this AI can come up with. Wait, no more. That sound is getting really annoying. Put something else.
Here's an idea for an Undertale AU title. Underrealm. In this law, the world of Undertale is not just a game, but a parallel universe where the characters live their lives independently of the players' choices. In the Underrealm, monsters and humans coexist peacefully, but there is still a threat from a powerful entity known as the Shadow King. This entity has the power to control the minds of others and bend reality to its will. skill, making it nearly impossible to defeat the protagonist of this is a young monster named Frisk, who has the ability to see memories of the past and present. Frisk sets out on a journey to find the Shadow King and put an end to its reign of terror. Along the way, Frisk meets familiar faces such as Sans, Papyrus, Story, and many others who have been affected by the Shadow King's mind control. Frisk discovers that the key to defeating the Shadow King lies in collecting memories from the past, present, and future, which will reveal the entity's true identity and weaken its hold on reality. As Frisk travels through the Underrealm and collects memories, they must also make difficult choices that will affect the lives of those around them and determine the future of the Underrealm. This all combines elements of Undertale's signature humor and heartwarming moments with a darker and more action-packed storyline, making it an enjoyable and engaging experience for fans of the original game.
Okay, this one also has a very interesting story. Again, we got Monster Frisk, but this time they have Wednesday Adams powers, so I guess that's cool.
Here's an idea for an Undertale AU title: Underworld Uprising. In this, all the monsters of the underground have grown tired of living in constant fear of the humans and their violence. Led by a charismatic monster named Asriel, they stage a rebellion against the surface world to reclaim their freedom and rights. The story follows the journey of a human child who falls into the underground and becomes embroiled in the conflict between the monsters and humans. As they journey through the different regions of the underground, they encounter familiar faces and learn about the complex motivations and desires of the monsters they meet. Ultimately, the child must make a choice: will they join the monster uprising and fight for their cause, or will they choose to side with the humans and try to end the conflict peacefully? The outcome of their decision will determine the fate of the entire underground and its inhabitants. This all subverts the traditional Undertale narrative by casting the monsters as the heroes and the humans as the aggressors, adding a new layer of depth to the familiar world and characters.
About the last sentence, regular Undertale already does that, but the rest of the story is really cool. I'm thinking about drawing Asriel in a military outfit. I think it would look really cool on him.
Here's an idea for an Undertale AU title: Underrealm, setting an alternate world similar to the underground, but instead of monsters, it's inhabited by mythical creatures and beings from various folklore and legends. The humans are the outsiders in this realm and are seen as intruders by the inhabitants. Story: the protagonist is a human who accidentally stumbles into the Underrealm and must navigate this new world filled with dangerous creatures and powerful beings. Along the way, they must form alliance and make choices that will determine the fate of both the Underrealm and the world above. Gameplay: the gameplay would be similar to Undertale, with turn-based battles and choices that affect the outcome of the story. However, instead of fighting monsters, the battles would be against mythical creatures, and the choices would revolve around respecting the laws and customs of the Underrealm or disregarding them. This all would give a fresh twist to the Undertale formula and offer players a chance to explore a world filled with mythical creatures and folklore.
I don't like it. I'm sorry if you do, but I don't like it. I don't know why. It's just no. Alright, human. So that's all I told the AI to do. I might probably make an actual AU out of one of these and not too lazy. Well, bye. Or something.